that. So my name is Michael. I have been with a company called Nielsen for the last 10 years, so it's a shame that Timo isn't here anymore, but anyways, and what I've been doing there is sponsorship research, and for the last over half a decade, I've been focusing within Nielsen on on gaming and esports research. But at one point in time, and as I'm not with Nielsen anymore, but with YouGov, as you can tell, I thought this can't be everything. So there must be more, and there is actually really more. No. That would have been a cool effect now, because now this slide would have really fit into my story. But yeah, and there is more. So as you can see here, let's start with a couple of data points to get really into the topic. So what does YouGov do? So we are a market research company, one of the biggest worldwide, and if I might say so, with the best panel worldwide. Since we have over 18 million people registered in our own panel, where nobody else than we and our clients has access to. So that means that we have a huge amount of people globally that we can reach in an instant. And that's not everything about this. So on top of that, what we also do is we have a data cube. That means that everything we ask our panelists is connected within this data cube, meaning that we have over 1 million variables that are interconnected in this data cube. So from a data standpoint, we really know everything about them, which sounds kind of scary, but it's actually not. So we know if they are cat or dog people, or we know the usual stuff like the demographics and so on. But again, really into depth, and also about their gaming and esports behavior. And that's the thing. When
but this is a very common use case. People often don't find.
Or we can just listen to somebody else talking. I don't know. Maybe we do that. If this is not interesting enough, then we just have someone voice over what I'm telling. I don't know. Yeah, you are boring. Let's take everybody else talking. So that's just great. I mean, I have fun. I've been on a couple of stages, but this is really quite entertaining even for me. So again, back to the data cube, which is actually more entertaining than me just rambling about random stuff. The interconnection between data is something that we will see in a couple of slides, because we really know more or less anything or everything about our panelists, and that's really cool, because digging into stuff. And what I will be showing you is already quite detailed, but to be fair, it's still only scratching the surface of what we actually can do, because what we do for a living is we are fielding surveys every day within this panel, and the data points that I will be showing, and yes, I will be showing them, trust me, they are so trustworthy, because we on a daily basis run in something between 70 to 80 countries worldwide on a daily basis, something between 1,500 to 1,600 surveys in a day around brands. That means that our panelists have a huge chance in taking part in surveys on a daily basis. Therefore, we don't need any third party or anything to do extrapolations. We trust our own data. And if people are not interested in esports, well, they don't have to pretend that they are interested in esports to gain points or whatsoever, like within other companies. No, they just say, I'm not interested, and take part in just another survey. But if they are interested, then they get, of course, into the survey that we will be, or into the surveys that we will be talking about in a couple of minutes. So that is the awesome part. And we don't need any filter processes or anything, because we trust the data that we have for the reasons I just told you about. Yeah, of course, we do have clients, right? The one thing that you might be missing on this slide are brands. So of course we are working with teams, with rights holders in esports, with lots of publishers that are working with us on their esports side of things, or of course on their publishing questions. But we're working with the brands anyways. So YouGov is around for 20 years, and the Coke example, for instance, a couple of minutes ago, was quite interesting to see, because I really wanted to know, did this hurt the brand Coke in the US, for instance, on a perception basis? Coke is one of our biggest clients, and we are tracking them on a daily basis. So I dug into the data, and thing is, yes, they screwed up. and in our business everybody knows that. But did the people really notice? No. It didn't hurt the brand perception at all. Is this a good or bad thing? For Coke, obviously it's good to see, okay, it didn't hurt the brand, but they could have done better. Let me put it this way. So, without further ado, esports and gaming, because that's the topic for the day. And let's go one slide further. This statistic here is not really that surprising. You've seen this 1,000 times, different numbers. But what I find really quite interesting about that is, and this is the thing that we already been talking about, and if we think about esports and gaming and opportunities, the esports followership, the younger the people are, the stronger they are following esports. So that means that those people that are now interested in esports, they will become older, right? They will have children. So for them it's totally natural to be watching esports events moving forward. Totally natural, right? So this is something that you please should keep in mind when we think about, okay, esports and gaming, where are the opportunities? Now, reaching a younger generation that will get older in one point in time. And to be fair, they are not that young either. So if we see here that already 41% of the below 24 and 34% of the below 34 are esports fans, that is already quite strong. And some other traditional type of sports would really kill for having those stats globally. Thing is, what I'm not talking about today is the distinguishing between different games within esports. So one thing that we all, from a professional and make it easy standpoint, is talking about esports like that is one thing. It's not. So you have League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Dota, and so on. So many games that you already heard about today. To make it easy and a bit more digestible, I will not go into the details of that, but still, please keep in mind that within this different bars that you see here, there are other subgroups. So as I was talking about, okay, we trust our panel, and therefore for the first time, well, for the second time now in this week, but still ever, I'm super happy to come up with an extrapolation and an estimation. How many esports fans are there worldwide? So we have this data available for 51 countries, and from our perspective, on average, 27% of the population in those countries are esports fans, and it's 850 approximately million people that are already fans, and that's huge. That's almost as many fans as Bayern Munich said they have, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty strong. And again, please think about the fandom is still young, so this number will go up. My business is not to come up with some crazy extrapolation, say esports is bigger than the Super Bowl, because it's not. But still, that is already an interestingly super high number to see. And one thing is really pretty important here. This is esports, and if you see, different countries have a different interest in esports. So I've been in the UK in the starting of the week. The UK is here. They didn't really like the stats, but that's the way it is. We don't have to forge anything because the data that we have here, well, this is what we believe in, and that's the way it is, right? So UK, they don't have that strong type of a followership. If you look into the Philippines, for instance, they have a super strong followership in esports. It's a totally different market, and that's the thing. Please keep this always in mind, that not all the markets are the same, and within those bars, the games of esports that we are talking about are totally different. So, but back to the point that Frank already said, and I really like the picture of esports and gaming as an iceberg. I mean, I have to be honest. When I saw the slide first, when I built it, okay, on my laptop screen, it looked quite okay, but when you present it, it's not that pretty. But the pretty thing about the slide is the data points on it. So please follow me through it. In the beginning, I asked you, okay, are you comfortable with what's esport, what's gaming? So esports is, Frank already explained it a bit earlier. So if you're more into the professional and more competitive gaming side, but one aspect is pretty important. You also really like watching other people play computer games. It's not only that you are playing for yourself, but you also watch other people play, right? So if we now start with, okay, from a gaming basis, because many people think, yes, those gamers, they are all watching esports. No, 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 no. So we need to define how many people are really playing games, in this instance video games, in Germany. I took a broad definition, 1 hour plus. So in Germany, 51% of the general population is playing video games. So half of the population, which is already quite good. But if you look into the esports fans now, 84% of them are playing video games. That means, on the other hand, that 16% of them isn't playing anymore. They are just watching. So again, back to Frank's example with his kids playing soccer. You're not playing soccer anymore. I mean, the same obviously counts for me. So this is quite the natural evolution of things. People are watching, but not playing anymore for several reasons, which I won't go into detail, but talk to me if you want to know more. So we have now the groundwork, right? So they are watching, but they are not playing anymore. And if you now look into vice versa, now what's the interest in esports? What's really the iceberg here? 9% of the general population in Germany is interested in esports. That's not that much. There are stronger countries, as you've seen on the slide before, but still, of the gamers, 19% of them are esports fans. That means, on the other hand, that you have 81% of the gamers that are not really interested in esports. They want to play themselves. And this is something that I really want you to take with you, that there is a chance, of course, esports is easy targeting. You have tournament organizers like you guys and many other ways how to reach the people, but you have a much, much stronger chance of reaching the gamers. So the question is quite long that we ask. So when the people enter our questionnaire, it's like that long, and the gist of it is that it are competitive events, leagues, or cups, whatever, that are played on a more or less professional level, if you are following them, if you're watching them. So there are several ways how you can enter this, but the question that we ask eventually is, are you interested in football? Are you interested in basketball? Are you interested in esports? Esports, we defined this before, because as you are, it's a good question, Benedict, because many people screw this up and just think esports is, if I play FIFA, then I'm also interested in esports. No, so we definitely defined this before, but what we then have is interest. And what does interest actually mean? So we have interest asked on a 4-point scale. This is one of my favorite topics. I'm interested in it. I don't care and not interested at all. And the statistical thing that we now do is the so-called top 2 box. Top 2 box means that we take, if this is one of my favorite topics, and I'm really interested in it, combine those and put them here with the esports definition before, as I said, professional competitions and so on. This is not about playing, this is about watching. Yeah. Yeah, true. Sure. We also have this question too. Yeah, so we do have this question too, about how do they see themselves in terms of amateur competition, more professional esports competition, and actually the numbers that we do have, they are overstating a bit, because no one can tell me that we have 10% of the population really playing esports on a semi-professional level. And I've seen several stats of this talking about that, and many people in this instance really think, yeah, I'm playing FIFA quite well, and therefore I'm playing esports. Again, no, you are not. If you are playing against the pro, it's still football, yes. It is competitive gaming, amateur esports, but not the esports that we are talking about, which is by definition, that I said, a professional league system. So when you're playing in the lowest German league, football, that is not at all something professional. So let's not get into the details of that, specific thing, but carry on because funnily I still have like 20 slides to go through and I only have 13 minutes left. Time flies, right? So next country, Philippines. If you may have seen on the slide before, the Philippines are a totally different market, and yes, here gaming 1 hour plus in the general population is higher. The esports fans side that are only watching is higher also, and the interest in esports overall is also higher. One thing to keep in mind about the Philippines have an extremely young population. So meaning, if you think about the slide that we saw before with the steps downward, these are all things that come together. So understanding the local countries, understanding also their habits and their demographics is something that you definitely need to take into account when you think about entering something somewhere, because this can really be something where you can fail and will fail if you don't think about what is really popular in those countries. And here, for instance, Mobile Legends Bang Bang is the most important esports. If you ask people here, they wouldn't care. Well, they do care a bit, but it's not as important as in Southeast Asia. Here are other games that are more important. Over there, it's again Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So again, knowing the habits of the people and knowing what they are really into and what not is something that you definitely should keep in mind when you want to explore the opportunities here. So, talking about opportunities, influencers. Oh boy. Is he really talking about influencers? Yes, he is, but for a reason. So I'm not telling you to go into any type of influencer, but to start with, what's super interesting is that on average 43% of the people on the globe follow an influencer. Any type, right? So we have this as a ground rule now. And now thinking about, okay, as we are talking about video gaming, esports, and video gaming content creators, how do they perform in comparison to other type of influencers? Well, one could think not so good. 9% of the people that are following any type of influencer are following gaming influencers. So why is he talking about this topic? Is this something interesting? Yes, it is. Because when zooming into the actual target group of the people that are following video gaming content creators / gaming influencers, you see that men 18 to 34, in 12 out of 17 countries that we did the survey in, video gaming content creators are the #1 type they are following. Those slides you can download, so you don't need to take pictures. I will have a QR code ready for you to go into those white papers later on. But please keep this in mind. So video gaming content creators are in this target group super important, and they follow them, as you see, quite often. But not only that. If you look into, do they only follow one type of influencer? Yes. Video gaming content creators are #1 in terms of I only follow that type of influencer. So 12% said, I only follow them. I don't care about somebody cooking on YouTube or whatsoever. No, they want to see other people play computer games. Is this live streaming now or is this YouTube content? Doesn't matter here. So it's really about creating content and having this live streamed or edited on any website. Now back to the circle. So we know now that they are watching. Some of them aren't even playing, and they are watching video gaming content creators. But do they also game? Yes, and quite often, if I might say so. So in comparison, the global total, if you look at it here, we have heavy gamers, 28%, and medium gamers, which are playing more than 3 hours in a week, almost 50%. So this sums up to 78%. In the general population, these numbers are 38%. So they are not only watching others, they are also playing quite a lot. And that means for you as a brand, so I know that one brand is here, so for you as a brand, oh no, two, I know. So for you as a brand, the addressability of those people can be about around content on video gaming content creators, on esports, or themselves playing, because they are playing quite a lot. And how do you address them? Pretty easily. In the white paper, we have also the streaming websites that they like to watch their favorite streamers put the content on. But if you think about what are they actually playing on, well, mobile devices. All right, we get that. It's super easy. Almost everybody does that. But the guys that are, or the people that are also following gaming influencer, what they also like is playing on desktop, laptop computers, on a console, on a handheld, or even with a VR headset. So that means that they over-index in any type of device that you could use. So the addressability again is heavy. It's really, really great to see how much potential lies in this topic. So in short, before the actual Ask Me Anything part comes up, or we hand over to Christoph, we'll see, is please take home with you that we have quite a lot of esports fans globally. Yes, definition, we can talk about this, but we are totally feeling good about the number that we see here. Then 12 out of 17 countries, there are video gaming content creators, the number one type, the people between 18 and 34, male. Yeah, Gen Z, okay, I say Gen Z. I didn't want to, but I need to. So then Gen Z follows in 12 out of 17 countries, mostly the gaming influencer type. And as I already said, the factor is 2.3 times higher heavy gamers amongst the video gaming content creator followers. What a word, right? Than in the general population. And that is huge. Again, this comes full circle if I think about being a brand and not having a gaming strategy in 2021. Yeah, I mean, I need to laugh too, but I wouldn't say this if I wouldn't come across enough brands gaming. No. If you say no for a reason. So this should be reasons why you should think about it and why you should talk to me. Or if you don't want to, for whatever reason, I don't know, now's your chance. Go to the website, download our white paper. It's actually a 3-part white paper series. Yesterday, the second part was published, and in 2 weeks we will publish the third part, really focusing a bit more deeper on what I just told you around video gaming content. Where do they want to consume their content? How do they game? And next part will be, how do they perceive brands? So I stretched it to almost half an hour. I didn't think it was possible to do so, but yeah, thank you. And any questions? I'm here.